Hello, the clock has ticked down, and here we are. Welcome, viewers, to another episode of The Stream of Blood. My name is Jared Logan, and you have tuned in tonight to our Blood and Blades interactive Blades in the Dark world that we've created. We have 3 different crews existing in our city of Duskfall and the amazing game by John Harper, Blades in the Dark. We have 3 crews. We've got our subscribers doing a faction turn every month so that the other gangs in the city are making moves. They're trying to achieve their goals. And in the meantime, our crews are just trying to stay alive. The Tin Whistles, played by the gentleman from the Glass Cannon Network, have recently been involved in a takeover of brothels and night market that has cost them 2 members, maybe? They maybe have lost 2 members of their crew. Pontiac feels dead right now. The Kinohora just saved the entire city from a demonic apocalypse. The Kinohora are perhaps the least scoundrelly of the crews. They are kind of, they're refugees who want to steal back their heritage from the Akarosi who have stolen it from them. That's the last time they stopped an entire demon resurrection thing. It was truly heroic. But tonight we were dealing with a crew we have only seen thus far one time, the Weird Sisters. The Weird Sisters, a group of assassins headquartered out of Night Market, the section of the city that is home to exotic trade of all types, both illicit and legal. And in their last adventure, I thought that this crew took the most advantage of the unique rules that Blades in the Dark offers you, the flashbacks, the teamwork. We had 2 players from that crew where scheduling didn't work out with them returning for us. So we reached out to 2 other friends, and I am so just jazzed beyond belief that these players were able to play with us tonight. First of all, I'm gonna bring in the Rock, the lady who has taught me a lot about role-playing and who just is amazing every time she's on the stream. You can check out her streams at Good Time Society. She runs a game called The Calyx. Please welcome, as Kija, a slide, a manipulator and spy. Please welcome Becca Scott, everybody.
I am here to win hearts and enslay them.
Yes, to win hearts and then kill the people whose heart you have won.
Yeah, although she's not Russian, I just wanted to say that. What do you mean I taught you things? I learned everything I know from you.
Look, that's nice of you to say. Well, I guess we could, that's not mutually exclusive. We can learn things from each other.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, that's a nice thing.
Hello, everyone.
You're such a pro and you're so good at this. Hello, viewers. We're so happy to have Becca back. Let me bring in her 2 compatriots for tonight's score. She is a fantastic actress, improviser, and streamer that we've had on our vampire stream. We've had her on our Neptune Society Cthulhu stream, so it was time to have her on our Blades in the Dark stream. She will be playing a leech named Elisa. She's a saboteur and technician. Please welcome Josephine McAdam.
Hey, Jared.
Oh, no!
No, you're not Josephine.
She's
it's
making
Secret
a quick,
GM Clinton Trucks.
Josephine's making a quick technical switcheroo on her end. She'll be with us momentarily.
Great, sounds good. The technician is doing technical things. That makes sense. Then let's bring in our other player. This is our first time playing together, but I'm really familiar with her work from so many amazing streams that have been going on for a while. Really excited to have her here tonight as a whisper, a worker of the arcane, a controller of spirits. Please welcome Jasmine Bhullar.
Hi, hello. I'm
Hi.
Jasmine, that bronze girl Bhullar. So happy to be here.
Welcome, that bronze girl. Thank you for coming to assassinate some people with us tonight. And you've played this game quite a bit, eh? You have some experience with it.
Yeah, I've played it before. Mm-hmm. I like Blades in the Dark.
Can I tell you, last night sorry to interrupt. I had
please.
friends over and she was like, I played a role-playing game. I can't put it wasn't Dungeons and Dragons. It was like Victorian and I don't know what it was called. And I was like, Call of Cthulhu Dark Ages. And she was like, no. And then an hour later I was like, Blades in the Dark. Yeah. Anyway.
It's a popular game. It's sweet. I would say it's sweeping the nation.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. No, it is. We can say that. Hey, check it out. I think she's back with us. Very in character tonight. Please welcome. We're so happy to have her, Josephine McAdam.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Hopefully I'm not as well. I don't know if I fixed anything. Anyway,
You look
hi.
good.
You look great. I think it's fixed. I think it's great. And if anybody is seeing any kind of problem on their screen, I think it's probably on your end. Here at the Stream of Blood, everything runs like clockwork. The trains arrive on time. Joe, this is your first time playing Blades in the Dark, right?
Yes, absolutely. I know nothing. So
Well, you came dressed to play, and you're going to see it's really simple, but it also works backwards from other role-playing games. So in some ways, it does melt your brain in good ways, in the ways that you want your brain melted.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm looking forward to it.
I have to interrupt one more time because
Please.
you mentioned the Calyx, and Josephine is guest running 2 sessions, and Jasmine is a guest on those sessions, and I had to shout it out because we're busy together this week.
That's right.
Yes,
And people should tune in and watch those sessions. And we're so happy that the Calyx is teaming up with us to portray this crew of assassins. Does anybody have any questions before we get rolling, or should we just dive headfirst into a fictional world where I just start spitting and sweating and portraying different characters?
Spit and sweat away.
Time to spit and sweat. Okay, here we go. The city of Duskfall is built in a land where 1,000 years ago there was a great cataclysm. The sun was snuffed out. The gates to the land of the dead were torn open. Spirits, long dead, walked the earth again, and the entire environment of this magic kingdom became an inhospitable death land full of horror and decay. Duskfall and the other cities in this world, in this empire, they are able to continue existing from night to night because they have harnessed the power of sparkcraft. Their cities are protected by enormous state-of-the-art lightning barriers, which are powered by the blood of leviathans that are kind of harvested from the void sea. So they kill these giant demons in the sea and they siphon off their blood, and their blood is kind of electroplasmic, and they use it to fuel these lightning towers that protect the city and keep the ghosts out. So outside of the city is a wasteland, but inside is a wretched hive of scum and villainy, a hive of criminals and scoundrels desperately trying to survive night to night. You are 3 of those scoundrels. You are part of a crew of assassins called the Weird Sisters. And your membership has changed a little bit. It's been a little bit of time since your last score, Kija, played by Becca, our spy and slide. And because we are going to focus on another score tonight, we're going to ease past our downtime a little bit so I can get these 2 new players into a score. And so I will just say, in the time that has passed, it might have even been up to a year, you have managed to get yourself to a physiker. That physiker already rolled off screen to heal you up. And so you can make all of your health damage. It'll go down 1 level, right? So you were stabbed, and you were both stabbed and spooked, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
I had a big old stab and a big old spook. That is correct.
Great. Okay, so you have now cleared your first level harm. It's gone. The first level harm is gone, and the second level harm, I have it right here, Kija. Oh, stab. Let's bring that down to first level. So maybe it hasn't been quite a year. If you get another first level harm, your rolls will have less effect. So Kija, after these months, you're still feeling the effects of that stabbing. And of course, that occurred when you assassinated a buyer from the Circle of Flame named Ankayet. And the reason that your crew, and you particular, Kija, was interested in taking this job and slaying this man is because he was a war criminal from back in Eruvia, where you're from. And so it seemed just to destroy him, to kill him. We don't have to go too deep into what happened last time, except to say that you were successful and you earned some coin. Your cut of that coin, I'm going to go ahead and say that you also have 2 coin, Kija. You have 2 coin. But lately you've been running with your girls. You're running with your girls, Elisa, our leech, played by Josephine, and Jasmine. What is your character's name? Mollie.
Her full name is Mira Malzahar, but she goes by Mollie. That's her alias.
Mira Malzahar.
Ooh.
Lately, you've been running with these 2 dangerous ladies, and you guys, you need a new job. You need your coin is getting low. The various vices you all engage in. Let's actually talk about your vices just a little bit. What's your vice, Kija?
Kija's vice is obviously the thing that I know that spurns me every day of my life, and I will find.
It's right here. You're into luxury. Yes. So
that's right.
So your crew, I think, is makes your home in like a kind of an underground kind of grotto where boats can kind of like slide in under some bridges, and then you're kind of hidden from the sight of the authorities, and you have outfitted this place in every kind of luxury. I mean, what kind of things would Kija buy and outfit the place with?
Oh yeah, multicolored silks and lots of floor pillows is the look we're going for. It's a very kind of like mermaidy grotto.
Is it like when Kramer turned his apartment into there's levels and you can just sit in the different levels?
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about with that reference?
Lofted everything. No, but I'm along for it.
Great. So, Kija's thirst for luxury alone has depleted your coin. Josephine, what is Elisa's vice?
So it says here my vice is weird.
Yes. So what weird things does Elisa engage in that costs her some coin that she's kind of obsessed with?
Oh, well, I suppose it's a bit subjective that it's weird, but I enjoy putting things together to blow up other things. Right. And I think it's a great thing to spend one's time on, because you never run out of things to blow up. Let me tell you that.
So here in this subterranean grotto, once we get past the throw pillows and the beautiful diaphanous silks, there's probably a table where our friend Elisa is putting together the delicate parts of some sort of possibly explosive device. And these, you need certain elements and certain metals that are rare and hard to come by, and it costs money and it costs time. And so you need more coin to fuel your obsession with building dangerous explosives. Tell me, Mira Malzahar, aka Mollie, what is your vice?
Well, unlike these heretics, it's faith. So there's actually a temple that my father started, and we're devoted to the service of mankind and running free kitchens, and that involves a lot of money, and I'm not afraid to kill bad people to get it. So that's in his memory. So that's what I do.
That's so noble. What a noble pious lady you are.
Sort of, sometimes.
Perhaps
the things I do when God blinks, you don't want to know. But when his eyes are open, yeah. But he's got to sleep sometime. That motherfucker can't be watching always. And when his eyes are shut, well, that's between us what happens. But
that is a strong and terrifying worldview, Mira. Yeah. So you guys are low on coin, and you need a new job, and
but rich in spirit.
Very rich in spirit. Thank you, sister. I would ask you to describe to me how you would go about looking for your next hit. Also, as assassins, you can earn coin and XP from ransom, kidnapping, causing accidents or disappearances. You don't always have to murder someone, and you all have on your sheets, if you look, a list of sly friends. They might be someone who you could talk to who would, turn you on to a job. And the crew itself has a contact. I've decided that it is Carlo, a bounty hunter. If someone would like to, Carlos, I'm sorry. So if anybody would like to talk to one of their contacts or Carlos, all of these things are available to you, or you might have another idea. I have another idea for how to get a job. So just let me know. Why don't we start with, let's start with, since we were just talking to Mollie. Mollie, how would you go about looking for a job?
Well, there is a lovely vampire named Skurlock that I've been helping through a difficult time. He just got dumped and his soul is damned. So there's times I talk to him and, hang out. And I feel like sometimes he points me in directions of lucrative jobs as a sort of payback.
I think that that's probably true. And wow, I didn't expect this to happen, but you've kind of hit on something we've been doing on our faction turn with that. So you kind of go and you talk to Lord Skurlock, a very dangerous character here in the city of Duskfall, a man who is a faction unto himself. And that recently there was a woman in his life.
Oh, no. Yeah.
There was a woman in his life. You even heard her name because he won't stop saying it now that she has left him. For Cynthia. And now he spends his days just drunk on blood. In his lonely tower, throwing goblets at servants, but occasionally...
Skurly, we've talked about this. As I dodge a goblet. We've talked about this, Skurly. Remember last week, we've spoken about this.
You're right.
This is self-destructive.
I must strive for balance. I must...
What are the steps, Lord Skurlock? What are the steps?
I must count to 10.
Yes.
I must focus my rage at my enemies.
Yes.
And I must destroy those who have fallen from the path of balance.
Yes.
Thank you.
And number 4, we give ourselves a pat on the back because we remembered the steps and we stuck to them. Positive affirmation. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Just like that. Good job. I need help.
What do you need from me?
I need a job.
I haven't been paying attention to what's been happening in the city. I've been driven mad by that. But enough of that.
Yes, that's... Mm-hmm.
All I can tell you, the only thing that has been causing a huge stir in the city is the exile of Avrathi.
Am I supposed to know Avrathi? Let me think.
Estera Avrathi. She's the Eruvian diplomat to this city. I would think as one of Eruvian heritage, you would be maybe aware of her.
I mean, yes, but I don't pay attention to politics, I pay attention to the business that pays me.
Yes, well, I happen to know a secret about Avrathi that even many of the authorities don't know. She is one of the High Council that make up this circle of flame. If she has been exiled from the city, it has stirred up many ill feelings among those that are versed in the arcane within Duskfall. There may be some sort of opportunity for you there. One of those factions surely needs to express their anger by killing something. And then he smashes a table that you shouldn't be able to smash with his enormous vampire strength. And he goes, "For Cynthia!" and just walks out onto a balcony and kind of stares up at the sky, howling.
I look at one of the servants and I say, he does this a lot these days, I take it. We were making such good progress.
I was hired today, miss.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
He needed someone in a hurry. I don't know what happened to the last guy. I don't.
He probably ate them, if we're being just honest with each other. But
it's work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this has been valuable information, though, because now I kind of know where to look. So after he passes out drunk on blood again tonight, just make sure he doesn't fall asleep with the shoes on, because then he wakes up, he feels kind of icky about himself.
Right.
Have a good one.
Thank you, miss. Thank you. Thank you for staving off his horrible anger. Okay. Beautiful, wonderful. So that's one lead. But let's not. Come on. Role playing games are cool because you have choices. So perhaps the other ladies. Why don't I talk to one of the other ladies? You can kind of go out and maybe look for an opportunity, or do something else if you'd rather do something else. Let's talk to Elisa, our leech, our technician and bomb builder. Elisa, what
Yeah.
would you do in this situation?
Well, I don't necessarily like speaking with others. But there is, maybe I should change my tune a bit. There is this priestess. Actually, Mollie kind of reminds me of her. She's always on my case about turning a new leaf, being better, better.
Mm.
Um, uh, Maybe she'll be game if I suggest, well, instead of, destroying something for, that belongs to, well, there are no innocents in my mind, but innocent in her mind. What if I went after someone bad, who's been terrible in the community or something? Maybe she'd feel a little better about that. Or maybe she at least knows.
So do you talk? This priestess's name is Malista. Yes.
Yes.
Do you want to go and consult with Malista?
Yeah, she's technically my rival, but I feel like maybe I could get information because she also talks to a lot of people.
Absolutely. And Malista, we defined her kind of as, she's your rival because she wants to save you.
Yeah.
She wants to save you. Oh, Elisa. I'm so happy that you've come back into the grace of the weeping lady. Come.
Yes. She ever weeping. Hello. Oh.
Elisa, now that you are here, I know that you can help us. We need an extra set of hands. We're trying to feed this poor, unfortunate rabble. Perhaps you'd like to dole out gruel from these wooden bowls, or perhaps you could work on making the gruel by pressing the organics in the back.
I'm not very. I feel like I'm coming on with a little cold, so maybe not.
I feel that if you could just see the smiles on their faces.
Oh, I see them from here. Look at those, toothy grins. Yeah,
They're not smiling at all. They're all like. The poor of Duskfall are not happy. Many of them look like they've been corrupted or polluted by these strange alchemicals that keep the city running.
Look, I started out in this. I don't really want to spend more time in this. I've moved on up. I've made a name for myself. I'm trying to be better. I promise, Melissa. I actually came here so that I could...
Come inside, quickly. Come inside.
What? Oh, okay.
And she's looking out the door and then out the window, out of the arms of the Weeping Lady, which is this huge opera house in Six Towers that has been refitted into sort of a shelter and a soup kitchen for the poor and the itinerant of Duskfall. But she's looking out one of the old kind of, big, almost like they look like almost like church windows in the front hall. And she's looking at something and she's like, "Do you see across the street?" And looking out, if you do indeed look out, Elisa,
Yes.
You see that there are 3 women in like ragged black coats, and they are wearing aggressive headgear, and they are standing very close together, and they are staring at the arms of the Weeping Lady, and they are not blinking. They're just kind of watching it. And she's like, "At first I thought there was some sort of foul spirits, but no. I don't know who they are, but they are very intent on something that's going on in here."
Well, yeah, they look like a bunch of witches, don't they? I mean, that's straight out of a book, that is. Would you want me, I don't know, you want me to go, take care of it?
You could find out who they are.
Oh, Yeah, I'm sure I could do that. Yeah, why not?
The weeping lady. She gives us many gifts. But we must first give them to ourselves. You could give us the gift of knowledge to know if these strange stalkers are some sort of a threat.
Oh, yes, yeah, And then if you ever need protection, too, I could always help you out with that as well.
The weeping lady protects me, Elisa. And
Yeah, that's right. I
she could
forgot.
protect you as well if you only saw that inside of you is a weeping heart.
Oh, yeah, I feel it.
I must go. I have duties.
Okay.
Hello, my brothers and sisters. Hello. She's pulling just really scary looking, scarred individuals to her bosom and hugging them. And she's moving back to where there's a giant vat of gruel and starting to stir it. And the crowd is starting to push past you. The gruel. They all want the gruel.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Yeah. All right.
So you have a hook. You have a possible path to follow. Let's talk to Kija briefly. Kija, how would you go about finding a new job?
Kija is going to call upon a tavern owner that she knows well, but of course she will be using her art of disguise, wig and glasses, and perhaps some sort of I think she's going to be masquerading as a wealthy old matron.
Oh, excellent!
And her tavern owner acquaintance, whose name is Clyra.
Clyra. Okay, great. So Clyra, and doesn't recognize you because your special ability has to do with disguise, right, Kija?
That's right, cloak and dagger.
Yes. You get plus 1d to rolls to confuse or deflect suspicion. Don't bother rolling right now. We're just sort of free playing till we find out which job we want to take. I want you guys to have a choice. But Kija doesn't recognize you at all. And let me know, are you just watching her? Are you questioning her in this old woman guise? How are you interacting with her?
Champagne, please.
Champagne, very good. Okay. So Clyra is very intent talking to some customers down the bar, and she quickly shoves a champagne your way and takes a quarter coin from you and continues talking to these customers. These people look like students. They're a bit ragged, and they have the look of an addict about them. Kija, they are kind of shaky. Their eyes are a lot wider than you perhaps would think they would be, and you can see that your friend Clyra is kind of like making sure people, she's keeping an eye out as she kind of deals with them.
I want to scoot closer down the bar towards them as I turn my back to it and lend an ear for eavesdropping to these addicted-looking students' conversations.
And they're like, we can pay, half now, and then if the stuff is good, then we can get the rest of the money together, right, gentlemen? Oh, absolutely, indubitably, yes. And they've got like cravats, and they look like Dickensian students, but they keep licking their lips. And finally, Clyra's like, "Okay, fine. Here's a taste." And she pulls out a tiny vial, and it glows a bright blue. And she's like, come closer. Yeah. And one of them goes, and the other one's like, no, you had the last sip. And like they're kind of fighting over it. And finally, the one who's clearly the leader is like, I'm just trying it to see if it's pure. And after he tastes it, suddenly his voice changes, and his eyes and his entire manner changes, and he says, I say, yes, I remember everything they did. Oh, I'm even talking like them. Oh, it's been so long. Oh, I can see trees and a garden, a real green garden. And Clyra's like, all right, you see it's pure, so move along. You're drawing attention.
Okay, you tell me. There's flashbacks in this game. Are there flash forwards? Because what if I
Yeah,
appear in
there
her
are. There are
apartment
now.
tonight?
What do you
Great.
want to do?
We flash forward, and I am in her. She lives above the tavern,
Mhm.
I assume, and I am in Clara's bedroom at night because it's kind of Kija's thing. She just
Yeah.
appears in people's bedrooms mysteriously in the shadows.
Yeah. So Clara is kind of just like, she's got her basin. Ugh. You can tell like she's having a little bit of liquor at the end of the night and kind of
No blue stuff for you?
I don't mess with that stuff.
I'm not an old woman. It's your old friend. And I pull off my gray wig.
Kija! Quit sneaking into my room.
This is what I do.
Yes, I know. Kija, don't tell anybody about that thought essence.
It seems you've already told me about the thought essence.
Damn it! Kija, just keep it quiet, okay?
Is this something you're
And forget about
marketing?
me cutting you in. I'm not cutting you in, Kija. This is my score. I got that stuff all the way. Well, I'm not going to tell you where I
No,
got
keep
it. No.
going. Really, keep going. You know you would be aided with some assistance. There must be some part of this deal that you need help with.
It comes from the scavengers, okay? The Deathland scavengers. They know how to make it out there. They have access to a lot of spirits, and they found a way to get back into the city. But there's a bounty on their heads. The city government has actually approved killing a scav if you see them within the city limits. So do not, just don't, I'm not cutting you in on this. Forget it.
All right, then I'll cut myself in. Thanks for the information.
Kija?
How much is it going for on the market these days?
I get 2 coins sometimes for 1 bottle.
2 coins for 1 bottle. All right, then.
That's a lot. By the way, in the economy of the game, that's a lot.
Well, I figured I got 2 coins from my whole last score.
Yeah.
That's legit. And now
That's
that
legit.
guy was not easy to kill. Well, thank you for giving up lots of information for free. Perhaps there's something I could do for you.
Just leave my name out of it, and if you come across any more of the thought essence, I can move it for you.
Interesting. I think perhaps a scavenge of the scavengers could yield quite a bit of thought essence with the right crew.
That's right. And so I would like to hop back just for a moment to our friend Elisa. And so we know that Kija appeared in our friend Clara's bedroom late at night, but you had
As
that
he
whole...
turned around, there was like the window curtains whipped and I was gone again.
Yes. No, I think that should happen every time Kija plays. She has a gimmick now. Yes, so absolutely. I think, Elisa, you had all day to kind of find out who these ladies are. How did you go about that?
I would have, let's see, I'm not very familiar with how each skill might work, but between, surveying and studying them, I feel like I would watch them first for a while to see if they're up to any, I don't know, if they move at all during that time. And if they don't, if they're just like being creepy still the whole point, at a certain point, I would just lose patience upon nothing like exciting happening and just walk up and, oi, who are you? What do you want?
One of them goes, "Follow us." And they start gliding. I mean, they're walking, but these women fairly glide. And you can tell by the look of them that they, when they hear the wheel of a carriage or the sound of an automaton like booming. They like jump. They're not used to being outside, and they talk to you as you walk behind them. They talk to you, and you can hear their whispers that like they kind of flit on the wind back to you. And they say, "We are looking for a crew to get rid of a pest for us.
Oh, really?
Mother Naria in the arms of the Weeping Lady. We would like for her to go away for a long time, maybe forever. We would like for it to be seamless, innocent, nothing suspicious, no obvious spirit craft." And then you realize you followed them into like an alley, and they all turn around at the same time to look at you. The back of the alley, the open street is behind you. And they go, "Are you interested?"
Do I know who they're referring to?
Mother Naria? Yeah, she works with Melissa, your priestess friend. She kind of runs that hostel, that sort of soup kitchen, the Arms of the Weeping Lady.
Do I think that if I took out the mother, that Melissa might get a promotion? And
it's very possible.
well, I feel like, yeah, sure. You know what? To be honest, they're very annoying over there. I wouldn't mind.
The spirit crows don't see you. You are protected by a very foul shade. Is it a blessing or a curse, dear?
You tell me. You seem to have a lot of answers about this.
4 coin, and if you want, we'll remove the shade.
What?
And they they all start pushing past you out into the street, and you can tell that they are honk. Oh, they don't like all of the people.
Wait. What are you gonna give me?
They said, let's see. They said, oh, I'm sorry. I said 4 coin. They said 6 coin. This is what one of them turns back. Not 4, 6. We'll pay 6. And then they head off into the street. And now, just to kind of keep us moving and bring our other players back in, I'm going to allow the characters to discuss which thing they want to investigate, because there are 3 options on the table here, or maybe they want to do some weird combo of the 3. You tell me. You guys are back in your grotto. You're sitting on the floor on the cushions that Kija has bought at great expense. She's prepared a beautiful little tea service set in between all of you if you enjoy that sort of thing. And you're discussing how you shall make your next score.
I'm sitting upside down on my head, wearing my spirit mask.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're wearing your spirit mask, Mollie, I can tell you that you perhaps know what those strange witches were speaking of to Elisa. You know that there is a spirit that follows the Weird Sisters, that always is in the periphery of your vision. And it does
it out.
Yeah, it does appear to be a dark and foul spirit of some sort. I would say that, like, occasionally when you come around a corner, you can just see like half of its face peeking from a doorway, and it seems it reeks of corruption, and it leaves, only when you're wearing your spirit mask, of course, or when you attune, it leaves greasy finger streaks all over the walls. And even right now, you are in a perfect position, Mollie, to be watching it, because it's kind of climbing across the ceiling of the grotto as you all sit to meet.
So
we should probably get rid of that shade sometime.
Well, I think
I kind of like it. It's like it's always watching and makes us feel more interesting. No?
You're
I
kinky.
don't know about that. But that's what the witches were, well, I don't know if they're witches, but they sure look like 3 creepy witches just hanging. They almost glided.
Hey. Witches is our word. You can call us whispers.
What?
I said witches is our word.
Well, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever. Creepy ladies. I think they
Thin
were
ice.
offering
Thin
to
ice.
get rid of the shade. Was that part of the 6 coin and getting rid?
Yeah, they said they would throw that in if you wish.
Yeah, so I'm interested in the coin, but maybe that's something.
Yes, there's more pillows I wish to purchase for our grotto, but without more coin, it's impossible. I was thinking perhaps everything could be made of water, but like water trapped inside the fabric. Does that make sense?
It
Never
does.
mind.
And in fact, Kaija, you know of these very rare and exotic kind of furniture pieces where they have like kind of flowing, they put pieces of the void sea inside of it. So it not only is there liquid inside, but there's even like stars sort of twinkling inside the furniture. Quite pricey, of course. Only created in Eruvia, which you would be
I
familiar with.
must have them.
Yeah.
So you are offered to take out a mother at this
Yeah.
soup
She's
kitchen?
she's the weeping. No, it's the weeping. Well, oh, you know what? I was hardly paying attention, but
You
there
got
is
it though, the weeping lady. Yeah, the
there's
arms
a
of the
weeping lady. I have that annoying friend person there. Well, there's a head lady nun, and I guess these creepy ladies want us to take her out. But 6 coin, I mean, it's not bad.
No, but perhaps the deal I found could be even more profitable, though treacherous. We'd
Oh?
have to go into the Deathlands. But
Oh.
there's some new drug, this thought essence, 2 coins per bottle, and it seems to be quite hot. Really would be taking down those that want to take down themselves, Molly, so I don't know if you'd have some sort of conflict about it.
I mean, the degenerates are going to degenerate. I can't save every soul.
Wait,
Exactly.
but how many bottles are we speaking? I mean, 2 coin is not.
Well, it's made from squeezing ghosts or something, milking them. I'm not sure
Ah.
what. We'll find out.
I don't think that's how, it.
Is that what you do, Molly?
No, I don't milk ghosts. And I'm like, I'm still in my spirit
Right.
mask, which by the way is unique to every whisper. So mine's like a giant Rakshas face, and it has like the open maw with the tusks jutting out and the like crazy eyes and eyebrows. I casually wear it around our grotto when no one's around. And when people are around. I don't care.
It's
And a
very
bathrobe.
flattering. But do you feel uncomfortable sitting on your head like that?
No, it helps me realign.
Right.
Oh, I also found a job.
Oh.
I
Tell us.
visited old Skurly. We could get ourselves involved in a bit of political intrigue and kill a diplomat or kill somebody else that's interested in not being the diplomat or
And while you're describing this to everybody, the ghost, the shade reaches down, twisting in a way that would break a living person's spine, and whispers in your ear, Gaddock Station, track 5.
Oh, thank you. We need to have a talk about personal space, however, if you're going to stay.
I'm falling.
You're very lucky you can't hear that. Or actually, can they?
Can
They
we?
cannot. They cannot.
Oh.
No, you're just attuned in your spirit mask, so you can.
You're going on silent, and I ripped the spirit mask off and put it down.
Making those horrible moanings again.
Also, useful information.
Yeah.
Gaddock Station, Rail 5.
Gaddock Station.
Gaddock Station.
Platform. I might have said Rail 5, but Platform 5. Platform 5. Gaddock Station.
Do we know about this station? Is this familiar in any way?
Yes, you would. Gaddock Station is the major hub of transportation in and out of Duskfall, and it's right here in Night Market, the place where you make your headquarters. It's a bit south, and it's a heavily guarded place, of course, because many different types of business and people move in and out of it. But the ghost seems to think it's a significant place, and that's all I can share.
Okay,
Is
but
the
Molly,
saying that's where you'll find your diplomat, or
Maybe
It's
our
not the
fortune.
reason.
I don't know. He started wailing. I put the mask off. It gives
Yeah,
me a
is-
headache.
Do we
I want a
trust?
cup of tea as well.
Yes, and try this. And I put like a very puffy, silky face mask over Molly's face.
Oh,
May I?
thank you, thank you. Sometimes I get pressure lines from the spirit mask. It's so heavy.
It's tough to do what you do.
You're
But
so
do we
kind, Kija.
trust the shade? Is that you Molly? This is your expertise, I suppose. But like, are we just gonna be like, oh, you said train, platform 5. Let's just jaunt over there. Or are we just gonna get? I
I
don't know.
found shades are more reliable than the people in this city. Their motives are often
That's
more
fair.
clear. Although I've met a bastard shade or two. No, maybe not this one. I feel like him and I haven't really gotten to know each other.
Mm.
Yes, I dated a bastard shade once. It was very difficult though, since I can't see them like you can.
Yes, I mean that really could be true. I mean, perhaps this shade had to possess people in order for you guys to date,
This is a
to be
very
intimate.
being John Malkovich kind of dating situation. You
Yeah.
never know who's
Yeah.
showing up. Yeah.
It's adventurous.
Mm.
It's for people
Well-
who want to be, people who want to be polyamorous, but they still want to have that one person.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
You know what? What if I just bring it with us? We go to the station and we check it out because I pull out like this little like fishing hook and a bottle, and I'm like, because I could just scoop these things up and just cork it and just.
Ooh, maybe
I-
that's
I
how
do
we
that.
make thought essence.
Okay, no,
Who
we're
knows
not
when
doing.
people
I don't
find
know
their
about
own
all that.
recipe?
I don't know if you could eat it.
Look, you should have seen how these addicts were thirsting for it. Their personalities completely shifted. 2 coin a bottle is nothing to snub your nose at. Stub your toe at? I don't know.
Well, I mean, if we got even more than 3, that would be more than this other score where we have to kill
Right.
some holy woman.
Oh, do we have to kill her? Was that part of it? I didn't.
Yeah. Well, make her disappear. That's what the client asked you, and no funny business. Don't make it sure it doesn't look suspicious or that there was spirit craft done. Is what they asked you.
Oh, yeah. We could just, tie her up and have her live in a closet or something.
We could be very nice hostage keepers. No reason to torture her if we're just supposed to get her gone.
It seems like a lot
Or-
of work.
We
It
could
does.
blow shit up, make it look like an earthquake. The place comes toppling down above her. It's great. It looks natural, It's
Killing a bunch of people in a hostel.
No. We could clear it, like someone.
Ooh, I could have a disguise, like some sort of
Oh,
monster.
slow down, ladies. These are all wonderful plans, but the great thing about Blades in the Dark is that you don't have to make a plan. If you've decided to, if you, I sound like a choose your own adventure book now. If you decide to kill the priestess, turn to page 56. If you decide to do that, we're just going to start doing it, and then we're going to find out what your plan was as we play.
Okay.
Well, I definitely want to go.
But
to
I did want to
platform
give you a
5.
choice. Yeah, do you want to go to platform 5 first? Do you want to just see what happens
Can we go there before we decide?
Why not? Absolutely. We're on platform 5.
Fresh air.
It is noon and dusk fall, but the
smells
sky
like
is
poo.
dark. The sun was snuffed out long ago. It does smell like urine. It smells the clouds of urine-soaked mist blow across your noses and faces. And you see a large delegation surrounded by blue coats. And this delegation, this entourage, clearly belongs to someone of status. You see a beautiful woman, a beautiful dark woman in fancy silks, and you can tell immediately that she is of some sort of Eruvian nobility. And this is no doubt Elstera Avrathi, whom Lord Skurlock mentioned to you, Molly. And she is giving a speech to many Eruvians who happen to be kind of standing outside the little circle of blue coats, outside of the circle of kind of authorities that are kind of penning her in. And she is talking to them about how this is not over. I shall return. Duskfall must change. and the Eruvians who are there are kind of shouting, and the Bluecoats, never shy about pulling weapons and worrying about, escalating. Never. They're kind of wagging their billy clubs at the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, great.
Erovia!
Eruvia for Eruvians!
Hey, Erovia will rise.
The Empire is broken. And they're shouting all kinds of political slogans.
Is to burn it down.
That's right.
Oh,
And in fact, Elstera Avrathi even sees you say that, Molly, and she goes, "Yes, sister. Yes, I have learned now that the tactics of diplomacy are no longer enough. We must act." And that is when suddenly the authorities start pushing her onto the train. And there's just almost like fighting breaking out. And when all of that's happening, suddenly you feel a tap on your shoulder, Molly.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And a dark Eruvian gentleman goes, "Excuse me, miss, you dropped this." And hands you a small purse.
Oh, thank you.
You definitely didn't actually drop it, and he disappears into the crowd again.
I assume this is a message. I pop it open.
There's one coin inside and a letter.
What does it say?
To loyal Eruvians of Duskfall, I was betrayed by my secretary, Amador Drazar. Amador Drazar must be murdered, and you must secure the secret ledger Amador used to turn me into the ministry. If you do this, come with it to the Vale nightclub in 3 nights, and you will be paid 4 more coin.
Huh.
Do you think many receive this 1 coin? I mean, it seems rather steep for just a, "Hey, are you interested?"
Yeah, but then the total's only 5, right?
Oh shit, did I make them different? You will be paid 5 more coin. Someone has scratched that out of the bottom and written 5 more coin.
Well,
Okay.
Yes, 5 is less than 6, but 6 is the same as 6, so I don't know what to do.
I do.
You know-
We're Eruvians, aren't we, Kija?
I am actually, in fact, as girls, I played with Alcera. I don't know if she remembered, that's why I hid my face. Years ago, we were small children.
The system is broken. We have to smash it for Eruvia.
Well,
Alright.
if it's for Eruvia.
You
could be
I'm
convinced.
down to smash for Eruvia, for
There'll
money.
be things to blow up, Elisa.
I know. That's what I'm
Mhm.
for this. I'm for this.
I mean, we know the Eruvians will come through on it.
Well, who should I disguise myself
And
as?
who knows what other yummy things are in that ledger?
Oh.
Because it doesn't say we can't take a look at it before we hand it over.
It does not
Yes,
say
and
that.
there's also a nightclub involved. I'm intrigued by that part.
Me too.
Hmm.
Interesting ghosts hang out at nightclubs.
Really?
All right.
So,
In
does it sound like that's what we're doing?
mission chosen.
Yeah.
Mission
Let's do it.
chosen. You went to the menu on Skyrim and you carefully went through 5 layers of options and you chose assassinate former secretary of the Eruvian diplomat. The target's name is Amador Drazar. And Amador Drazar is going to be killed by you, and you are going to get your hands on Elstera Avrathi's secret ledger. He still has her secret ledger, the thing that he used to betray her. She wants it back. You're going to bring it to the Vale nightclub in 3 nights. What is your... now we are going to do a little bit of planning. And when we do a score in Blades in the
we
Dark...
were told no planning.
No, just a tiny bit. The most superficial planning possible. Would you like to do all of this? Would you like to assassinate this person using an assault, a deception, stealth, occult, a social situation, or a transport method. Like, and which that, that kind of, it doesn't seem like a likely one, but if you were interested in kind of maybe disappearing them, throwing them into the back of a carriage, driving off with them, maybe it would be something like that. An assault obviously means an attack. Deception means tricking them somehow into a trap. Stealth means, without anybody seeing or without them knowing you're coming up behind them, you kill them. Occult means, of course, you would use horrifying, esoteric methods of the arcane to somehow do them in. And social means that probably you would, I don't know, turn their allies against them, or somehow confront them at a party or social function, or get to them somehow through their contacts. So does anybody have an opinion on which of those you should choose for your plan?
I
Well,
don't care as long as it hurts because they're a traitor.
True. Perhaps a social embarrassment
I would love that, Kija.
or deception.
Humiliation is worse than death, but also death is required.
Death too, yes.
Yes.
Can I also, like, set something on fire perhaps, or like I've never like, blown up a diplomat before, so.
It's not the diplomat, it's the diplomat's secretary, my dear.
It is,
Well,
yes.
Yeah, but they're all the same. They all work together. They're all diplomats in my eyes. The secretary, what have you. Anyway, they're all the same. They're all scumbags.
Except for Aruvia.
Right.
Except...
Except Eruvians. Well, actually, we talked about this a little bit, but I want to see what Josephine thinks. Elisa her last name is Blakeman, so it sounds like she might not be, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, she might not be of Eruvian descent, but I think she spent some time there, maybe even was part of the army there.
Yeah.
And that's how she learned some of her bomb skills and things like that. So maybe she was a grunt, a private, and she was treated poorly there, but she still kind of falls in with them because she knows how to work with Eruvians.
Yes. Well, I know she was, she didn't grow up with much money, and I think that she was never being prioritized by those of nobility in the area and with said coin. And so she just has never had a sweet spot for them. They're just,
The rulers, the authorities, the people in power.
Yes.
She figures they all deserve to be blown up. Here's the good news. Even if you choose a social score, it doesn't mean you can't use other tactics like, stabbing someone or blowing them up. Social is just sort of your approach, your way in.
That sounds good. Yeah, I think we'll need to socialize it up for sure.
Okay, great. So if you choose a social score, if everybody is okay with that, then you need to tell me what the social connection is. That's the one detail you're going to add, and then we are just going to start the score and see how it's going right in the middle of it. So tell me and you can make this up, of course. This is out of your own imagination, or you might guess like, hey, maybe this, maybe that. What is the social connection that connects you to Amador Drazar that is going to allow you to get close to him?
Well,
Kija, aren't you rich or something?
Oh, very. I mean, except for money. But yes, I don't have money personally, but my family, the Inaruvia, certainly did. Anyway, I can't ask them for anything, but I do know Iramina, a vicious noble. It's on our group character sheet. And Iramina knows all the ins and outs of Eruvian diplomacy and would certainly know if Amador is attempting to rise the ranks by betraying Elsera.
Certainly. Would you like to gather some information before you do this score from your contact?
Oh boy, you know it.
Well, that's great. Tell me the action on your sheet you would like to roll to gain information. And then we will find out how much you find out from Iramina.
Sway, please.
Sway sounds like a good. So you and Iramina, you share cocktails on a beautiful balcony somewhere in White Crown or one of the more high end sections of the crumbling city of Duskfall. And over cocktails, what do you find out with your Sway roll? You're going to roll as many d6s as there are filled in dots on your Sway track. And for this, we're not going to set your position or your effect. I think that this is just a gather information. Let's just find out how you do.
Okay. So I don't have a target that I forgot how this works. I'm just
No, it's okay. 1 to 3 means you kind of fail, but with the gather information, it just means you get incomplete information. 4 or 5, you do standard, and a 6 or 2 6s, you get great information.
I have 1 4.
You have a 4. That's your highest roll is a 4.
Yes.
Okay, so you get a standard information. And she tells you, she's like, yes, this man Drazar, he's definitely trying to move in more rarefied circles.
Oh, how silly of him.
I know. He definitely doesn't come from noble blood. You can tell by the way he dresses. I've heard that he has been mucking about with some Ministry of Preservation bigwigs. Of course, they let him come to the party, but they don't let him actually converse with them, do they? They don't sit him near them, do they?
How embarrassing. Ministry of Preservation. Oh, yes. How terribly lowly. Well,
yeah, they are like civil servants. They're a very powerful faction in the city. They deal with all the laws about the electro rail and goods that move in and out of the city. So they're a logistics sort of government agency. But yes, they're civil servants. He apparently is moving about with some of them lately.
yes. Well, of course, you don't know if the Ministry of Preservation is having another event soon, do you, my dear?
I mean, I hardly try to keep abreast of the social calendar of clerks, my dear, but let me look at my book. Yes, they're having one of their luncheons. And let's cut to the score. So you did find a social connection to kind of lead you to a place where this man will be, because he really is trying to get in with high-ranking members of this ministry. Let's roll what we call the engagement roll. And you guys can kind of argue a little bit your case about what you found out and why you chose this, as to why you should get more dice in this roll. Because I'm going to roll this, and depending on how well this roll goes, you're going to start in a very controlled position to get this guy, or you're going to start in maybe a desperate position, like a dangerous position to get this guy. And so let's see. You start with 1 die no matter what. All right. More die is better, obviously. Any major advantage is going to give you a die. So the operation is particularly bold or daring. Meeting him at a party in front of a lot of people. In fact, near members of a very high tier faction, the Ministry of Preservation. Yeah, I'll give you a die for that. It's pretty bold. The plan's detail exposes a vulnerability. I don't know about that. I don't know that it does. You definitely found friends' contacts provide aid or insight. That did happen. Your friend provided some insight. There are no district modifiers. Now let me see if you have any disadvantages. The operation is overly complex. We kind of don't know what it is yet. So it doesn't sound complex to me. Target is strong against this approach. No. Enemies, rivals interfering. Maybe. Target is a higher tier. He's not. The secretary of the former Aruvian diplomat's not, but the people around him kind of are. So that could cause problems. And there are no district modifiers. Enemies, rivals are interfering, guys, and I'm not going to tell you who or why. I'm just going to roll 2 dice right now.
Wait a minute.
And we're going to find.
Can my disguise help us?
Oh, are you in a disguise?
Oh, I'm always in a disguise. I'm dressed as the Ministry of Preservation, and I imagine they have a cloak with some sort of insignia.
Thank you, Kija. You get 3 dice. That's the only thing we know about the operation right now, is that Kija is embedded looking like a member of the Ministry of Preservation, and we're rolling.
Oh.
It's too late. I've rolled. It's too late. Damn the torpedoes. The operation is happening. And you start at a 4 or 5. You are in a risky position when the action starts. So all I know, because this is all that we've said, is that you are at a Ministry of Preservation luncheon. So you are in Charter Hall, the seat of government, where all the civic buildings are located in Duskfall. The big ivory edifices with, stones and columns, and they all look kind of identical. You can get lost in the maze of these big marble monoliths here in Charter Hall. You finally found the right one. We're going to start with Kija. You got dressed up as a Ministry of Preservation official, and of course, as usual, Kaija's disguise is perfect. She's got the right little pin on the high collared, like kind of gray tunic that Ministry of Preservation officials wear. She's got the blue tie that's tied very high and tight, that indicate that she is a Ministry of Preservation member. And I want you to all pick your loadout right now as we watch Kija sort of move through this room of very stiff and sort of boring officials who are looking at plans for logistics and like trade routes and things like that. As she moves among them, how are you loaded out? So what does that mean? It means if you have a light loadout, you can only take a couple items of your equipment with you, but no one will notice that you're armed or that you have equipment on you. If you take a normal loadout, you're a little bit more conspicuous, but you get more items. You'll get 5, in fact, if you take a normal loadout. And then, of course, you could do a heavy loadout, and you'll get 8. I'm sorry, I think it's 6 or plus items for the score. So you'll get a lot of items if you want that you can use. And the way you use equipment in this game, Joe and Becca, just to jog your memory, you don't choose it before we start. You choose it while it's going on. So if you suddenly need an item, you just check it off and go, "Oh, I brought that with me."
Okay. So we have to say whether it's heavy or light.
Light, normal, or heavy. Yeah.
Okay, if I'm in disguise, I probably have to bring my Find Disguise kit, right?
I think that sounds great. So why don't you hit the Find Disguise kit on your sheet, marking it off. But let's decide: are you guys and you guys could go different if you'd like. But do you want to be light, normal, or heavy for this?
It's different person to person. Is what you're saying?
It could be. Mm-hmm.
And I need to add.
No, sure.
Each, because some of them have multiple boxes, so do some of them count as 3?
Yeah,
or?
Thank you. Yes, some of them count as 2 or 3. You'll see because they have multiple boxes there. So if you got 5 slots, it says here the each gadgets could take up 3 of the slots there. And you even see that the leech can choose. The leech is the most equipment-based character, so the leech can even choose like a bandolier of alchemicals. And then that would only be 1 slot. But then each time you tell me an alchemical you use, you have to cross off one of those slots on the bandolier. Do you see that there?
Yes.
Yeah. So it gives you lots of options to just, be creative and be like, I have this at any point that you need to. But right now, we are just going to start in a risky position. And I'm going to say that Kija is moving among, she's used her Find Disguise kit, so she doesn't even look like Kija right now. I don't even know if she looks like a woman right now. She could tell me. But Kija is moving among the...
Is this a boys club? I'll be a boy.
It's a lot of... No, it's male and female, but they're all pretty stodgy and old.
I'm dressed very androgynously. You would not know. I'm wearing a lot of prosthetics, too.
Yeah, and right now, this is like the saddest seminar, the most boring seminar you would hope that your corporate job never sends you to. Right now, they are discussing a plan for building a new lightning barrier around the Lost District. And there's a giant that they are able to like create projectors in Duskfall, that run on like alchemicals. And so there's this big projected map of the plan for the lightning barrier that's going to go up on the wall. But they're talking about it in the most technical terms. The speaker is being like, and so the alchemical capacitors will need to be sourced from a vendor that can create, and it's just like droning on and on. And the reason you're in a risky position is that Drazar is somewhere in here, but what you're looking at right now is a dark room and a sea of heads, a sea of old heads just kind of staring at this presentation that's being kind of put up on the wall in this auditorium of the Ministry of Preservation. We don't know where Mollie and your friend Elisa are right now. We just know where Kija is right now. And so the first problem is finding your target.
Got it. I want to bring with me, I'm going to have like a normal load. So maybe this cloak in my disguise will help to hide it. But I want to bring some trance powder, 2 pistols, and documents. Just cuts.
Pull them out when you need them, because later you might go, oh, I don't need documents, but I need trance powder. Yeah.
Oh, that's what you meant.
That's
so
how
not
it works.
Right now
Yeah. It's
we
really
did
cool
just
that
say
way.
this, but I thought you meant like now when it starts, we choose. Okay.
No, that's okay. Yeah. So like in a little bit, if you want some documents, you have them, but you don't have to narrow it down yet. And also I want to remind everybody that you can, at any point, if you get in a tight spot, you can do a flashback and you can kind of create something that happened earlier that's going to help you in this score. But right now, I want to set the risky difficulty that you're having right now is that you don't know where your target is. And there are so many people here that your target could move out of this room and you would lose them. You're about 99% certain that your target is here, but you don't know where. You just see a sea of heads in the darkness and you hear a voice droning on about alchemical capacitors.
Then I absolutely must go on stage and help assist in this presentation so I can scope out eyeballs in the crowd.
I love it.
Assuming I know what he looks like?
Well...
Or got a description from my friend Irimina.
Yes, you did. Because that makes sense, and that would have been the die that, where she gave you some information. So she described what the guy looks like. And unfortunately, like she described him as like a young Eruvian man with facial hair and kind of like a lot of hair up top. And that's kind of all that she didn't know him intimately. So suddenly Kija just takes the stage and the man who's speaking is kind of like,
as the principal curator of the taller lightning rods within the city, I'd like to tell you, I'd like to count and describe the status of each of the lightning towers. The first tower, functioning. Second tower, functioning.
Great.
As I saw him take a look.
Well, it sounds like you are attempting right away. People are kind of looking at each other like, who is this? Like, how she doesn't know what she's talking about. Like, what the hell is this woman saying? And so I think they're going to start standing up and pulling you off stage soon, unless you do something to make them believe that you are who you say you are. You can kind of hear whispering. People are starting to interrupt your speech a little bit. Kija, what are you doing?
Well,
you can take any action.
I am flashing back to show when I printed an insert for the handwritten programs beneath each seat. And in these programs, obviously, there is a sketch drawing that looks just like me.
Okay.
In disguise.
That is a great flashback, and it seems easy enough to have done because it just involved a printing press. I'll let you do it for... By the way, I forgot to tell you, you cleared the stress from your previous job. So enough time has passed. That stress is cleared, but this flashback is going to cost you, I think, 2 stress. So they're all kind of like confused, but then they start looking at their program, and there you are right there. So you must be the person who's supposed to be here talking, and that buys you some time. And I can tell you that as you take your time making your speech, you see him way out in the center of the crowd, sitting and watching you. And he looks pretty bored. He's actually going through like some little kind of like book on his lap, and he's looking up every once in a while. And on either side of him are 2 big Eruvian guys wearing big red cloths around their shoulders and around their waists, whom I don't have to tell you, Kija, would be members of the Red Sashes gang.
No. Tower number 54, functioning, but with a flicker.
Okay, so that's Kai just found your target. What is Mollie doing?
So I'm perched up on the building. I'm sitting on one of the gargoyles on it because I've decided there are gargoyles, almost like it's a hobby horse.
Yes.
And I've got my mask on, and I want to see, like much of the old buildings in this city, if it's haunted.
So, no roll necessary, I don't think. This is just kind of you kind of gathering information. And I think that what you find is that this entire building, even though you're on a really cool, creepy gargoyle, it's pretty sterilized from spirit activity because it's a Ministry of Preservation building. And they're the people that sort of, maintain the borders here in Dustfall. So it would be it would look very poor for them to kind of have spirits kind of climbing around their building. And so it feels pretty sterile to you. That doesn't mean that you couldn't attune to bring something from somewhere else.
Well, I mean, flashback. I brought my own spirit from home.
Okay, great. Did you bring the spirit that kind of aids you guys?
Yeah, I just pop the cork and it slithers out like a Studio Ghibli style and expands.
Great. Yeah, because it has this sort of affectionate relationship with your crew, it allowed you to put it in a spirit bottle. Although if you don't mind, I think you could mark that off on your loadout. What is your loadout going to be, Mollie?
Normal.
Okay. So Mollie's outside on the top of the building. She's on a gargoyle and she pops open a spirit bottle that the spirit let her put it into, and it starts to twist its way out of the bottle. And it's like hovering up on the top of the building with you, and it's waiting for you to tell it something, or it's trying to figure out why it's here. Mm-hmm. It's just like a piece of shadow and skin kind of hovering, and only you or someone attuned could see it right now.
Mm-hmm. I say to it, it would be terrible if whatever this diplomat's protection was drawn away by you in some fashion. I feel like maybe that would be just terribly unfortunate.
Let's see how well it follows your orders. How are you going to give it this command? What action are you going to use?
I'm going to try to. I don't know if I want to attune with it or sway it, just because it's a friend. I guess I will.
It's up to you, really. I'm going to allow either. Attune would be kind of using your psychic power to sort of really direct it. Sway would be asking a friend for a favor. What do you think that this spirit will respond better to?
I'm going to sway it. I think if I make it do it, that's probably not the best long term. If I ask it to do it, it's probably better.
I think that's very interesting. Go ahead, and I'm going to say this is controlled. And the effect will be standard. It will do as you say.
Okay. I am going to push myself and to make my roll a little bit better. Okay.
So when you push yourself, you take a little stress and you add a die.
Mm-hmm.
So how many dice does that give you?
2.
Great. Good idea.
I got a 4 and a 5.
All right. So you succeed with a consequence or a complication. And let's see. What should I have the complication be? I am going to say that you get a reduced effect. You wanted it to draw off the man's protection, but it doesn't quite draw off all of the protection. I want to tell you what happens. Kija, as you're continuing to give your very boring, very made up off the top of your head speech, you don't see You don't see, because you're not attuned to the spirit realm, that this shadow comes into the back of the crowd. It floats through the heads of the people sitting and watching at the speed of thought. And it arrives at the two red sash bodyguards that are flanking Dressar. And then it kind of seeps in through the mouth of one of them. And to you, Kija, you just see him gonna go like he was sneezing or something. And then all of a sudden, and he gets up to go relieve himself. He gets up. Where does he go? Who knows? But one of the bodyguards leave. And the other one is kind of like saying something to him, like, where are you going? And he's not answering. And that bodyguard walks off somewhere deeper into the Ministry of Preservation. But there's still a bodyguard there. Okay, let's go to Elisa. Elisa, what are you doing during this score?
Well, okay, so is this an Eruvian like event?
No, it's a Ministry of Preservation event. So it's like a bunch of like city government people who are kind of discussing, rail transport and logistics.
Okay. Well,
And you can say, I have an idea for later, or I'm waiting for something. Like, I'm not going to...
No. I have an idea. I think it would involve a flashback of sorts, where I would have spoken to some of my ex-military friends who are probably doing sort of security work and for various events like this, and see if they could get me a uniform to also be part of the security team here this evening.
Oh, very good. So go ahead and take, I think, let's see, how hard is it to get a Ministry of Preservation? I think that they're probably using their own guards. I think you're probably right about that. In order to get a guard uniform for the Ministry of Preservation, it's not easy. 3 stress, and I'll let you have that flashback.
Okay.
You'll take 3 stress, but then Elisa will be one of the guards that are on duty here.
Great. Yeah, and then in that case, I would like to do a heavy loadout.
Oh, very good. Okay, so Elisa, you're a guard along with these other guards, and the other guards are kind of like looking at you a little bit because you've got like a lot more stuff hanging off of you. They're kind of like, but because you're a guard, I mean, you're here. You're supposed to have weaponry and things like that.
Gotta be prepared. You never know.
And you see one of the red sash bodyguards, like with this look on his face, just kind of walk past the cordon of guards out of the auditorium and off into the building somewhere. You're not sure where.
Is that normal for the...
I think that this man is subject to something that our Whisper has done. The Whisper sent the ghost to kind of draw one of the bodyguards off. She tried to draw both of them off, but one of them has left. So you see...
we don't know that, right?
You don't know that, but you have a Whisper and you've worked with her before, and you know that she can do funky stuff like that. But you know what I'll do is I'm gonna let the situation sort of develop, and you guys are all placed now. So stop me when you want to move or you want to take over. Okay. So I'm gonna say that they do eventually say that you were saying in conclusion earlier, Kija. So you are forced to move off of the stage. The lights start to come up. Servants start to wheel in.
Tower should be 3 centimeters taller. Thank you for your time. Please hold your applause.
Everybody looks at each other like, okay, we're not applauding. And then the alchemical globes are lighted, the lights come up, and servants begin to wheel in food and hors d'oeuvres for all of these Ministry of Preservation people. And now you see that Dressar is kind of talking with his bodyguard, and then he walks up to a very old Ministry of Preservation woman. She's got a shock of silver hair that stands way up high and a really tight collar and the blue tie. And she is shaking his hand and patting him on the shoulder and talking to him very animatedly. There are people everywhere, including real Ministry of Preservation guards that were you to make some kind of move here would be very, very dangerous for you. I want to instill that in you. Your problem right now is that your target is surrounded by people, including, professional warriors.
Yeah, I'd love to get, a rundown of the schedule from one of the guards on like what the rounds are going to be, where we need to be guarding.
They're going to finish their lunch and then we just have to see them all out to their
Is there a green room of sorts, if they're getting overcrowded, if someone needs to step out,
He pulls like a schedule down off of like a rack and looks at it, and he's like, yes, I believe there are some smaller meetings happening in some of the rooms.
Oh, good. Is we ought to know.
Whose detail do you belong to?
Are
you with Riggs?
Yeah. Sure, I am.
I don't remember seeing you at muster. And I'm going to need some kind of action roll from you, or I'm going to sound an alarm.
What? Why would you do that? I wasn't made aware I was a late ad because my friend, needed someone to fill in, buddies from military days.
Elisa, that is a fine story, but can you back it up with dice?
I have no idea, Jared. Let me know how to play.
I will, no problem. So you you have a threat here. This guard doesn't trust you. You're asking a lot of strange questions, and he doesn't remember seeing you at the muster. He doesn't remember you being a Ministry of Preservation guard. You have to deal with him in some way. It can be literally any action you want, you could use to deal with him. Okay, so any of the actions on your sheet, those different skill type things on the right side of your sheet could be used. You just have to kind of explain to me what you're doing, which action you're using, and then I will set what we call the position and the effect. So the position is controlled, risky, or desperate. And the effect is limited, standard, or great. So based on your plan, the action you're using, and your description, that will say how effective this will be.
Okay. Could you tell me the difference between study and survey? Like how those are...
Yeah. Study is more like knowing scholarly things, like keeping up with lore or learning things, technical topics. Survey is more like surveillance, watching people, noticing small details.
Okay, so let me know if this makes sense.
Okay, I bet it does.
Could I have done some surveying to figure out what official documentation, because I see there's documents and equipment of the ministries, whoever's in charge, like I guess what their official paperwork looks like.
So you have something called documents and equipment in the types of items that you can pull?
Yes, it says documents, yes.
Okay, and great.
Or subterfuge supplies, they both seem.
I could also offer a bonus die to assist maybe if I came over to as a ministry official in my disguise kind of compliment you on the guarding you did yesterday.
Yeah.
Very good. So I think all of this is great. Kija walks up and she's like, Kija is, what do you say, Kija, when you shake hands with Elisa here?
Lieutenant Gruff, excellent work in preparing when we needed guards to assist our preparations to discuss, and you did document my paperwork. It's very boring. It's
right, and so he's kind of losing interest, and he's kind of he's got a job to do. So he's like, just show me your ID,
and I will pull that out with the documents I have. Yes.
Don't bother to roll. I'm going to allow your equipment to do the work for you here. Okay. So you pull out, so make sure you mark that off on your equipment, the documents, and you are literally going through like you've got this pile, you're going through an ID for the Spark Rights Guild. No, that's not it. And then you finally hand him Ministry of Preservation card for Sergeant Gruff. or whatever I just said. And he's like, right, okay. Yes, I'll see you after muster. And that schedule will show you where the smaller meetings are happening.
Perfect. Thank you.
He walks off. So now your query is on the move, and you can see that he's going with this older woman to down a hallway.
Do I know that there are meeting rooms down said hallway?
You sure do. You have your little map and your little kind of breakout room schedule for this Ministry of Preservation seminar.
Maybe we sort of lock eyes, and I hint that you should be my character's private guard for the day, and we'll kind of follow them both in our disguises.
Certainly, yeah. No, I mean, I'm a guard, so I notice that it's actually a disguise. It's just, I will protect you.
Mollie, while all of this is happening, while they follow the quarry, the target down a hallway, carriages and even kind of like automated hulls are starting to pull up to the front of the Ministry of Preservation, and it looks like, a line of cars for people that will be leaving soon. So I'm just letting you know that's your view from on top of the building, and you let me know, interrupt me at any point if you think Mollie is about to jump in. But right now the cars are lining up to take these different officials back to wherever they'd like to go. Dresar goes into a small room with the woman from the Ministry of Preservation, and Kija and Elisa are watching.
Is there any skylights on the roof of this building?
There sure are.
Can I see down and see where the ambassador secretary is?
Yes. Let's say that you walked over there, looked down at the skylight as the lights came up on the kind of auditorium area, and you see, because you see Kija and Elisa following him, you see a little male head with a silvery head that's kind of like moving off into the building.
Can I also tell? Is there any indication which car would be the secretary's car?
Hey, now that's an interesting question. How would Mollie find that out?
I feel like it would be a car of a Ruvian. Like maybe there would be a Ruvian insignia on it. We know the ambassador's not around, so it's probably the secretary using the car.
Interesting. I like that a lot. But I think you're going to need some kind of action to pinpoint it.
Let's see. I've got some points in survey.
Then give me if you'd like to use that. And I'm going to say that, again, this is very controlled. You're not in any kind of danger whatsoever. And if you get this, you'll have the standard effect. You'll figure out which car is waiting to take, which car or carriage is waiting to take him.
I got a 1.
Okay. So I will let you know that that was your job to kind of make sure he didn't have a getaway vehicle, and you're looking down at the mass of cars, and none of them have like an obvious, insignia, and you're kind of freaking out because your job was to make sure to cut off the getaway. And what are you going to do? You could try to increase your effect or your position. Your position was already controlled, but you could try to increase you could try again. By getting down and getting up close, or you could try something completely different. Or you could say, "I'm waiting. My job isn't happening right now. You let me know."
Yeah, I'll probably wait.
Okay, very good. So I will hop back to where a door has shut, and behind it you can hear the voices of Dresar and this Ministry of Preservation official talking quietly.
Were they the only two that went in?
As far as you could see,
are there
yes.
guards with them? No.
Yes. The red sash guy that was left is kind of just standing outside, with his bristling chest hair, kind of giving everybody the stink eye, waiting for someone to challenge him.
Is the hallway busy?
The hallway is fairly busy. It's a lot less busy than that main banquet area. So there's only a person that comes by occasionally.
Kija, do you think that you could mildly distract the sash man well, I just plant like a small firework, nothing huge, like a small firework popper type thing just down the hall so that Sashi friend might want to go take a look in a
As a
second.
ministry goon, all I can do is bore him to death, but I'll do my best.
I don't need long. I'm used to it.
Excuse me, sir, but perhaps as a red sash, you could tell me the 15 rules of passage for...
He pulls out a blade and is like, I don't work for you. Get back, or there'll be trouble.
Those
And
are the
he-
first 2 rules of sash business, as I've understood them.
Do I have to cut you? And now he is about to do some harm to you. And the harm will be that you will be intimidated unless you do something.
I
He's
pretend
gonna
to faint.
scare Kija away. Oh, you're gonna pretend.
Ministry members are not fighters, from my experience of them, so of course. I'd fall to the ground and close my eyes.
Great. But does he believe that you're actually fainting? How good an actress is Kija? Kija, what action are you using to fool this guard into thinking that he made you faint?
Once again, I mean, I love my sway, right? Sway's the thing?
Sway. Okay. Yeah, let's see. I mean, that makes sense. It's like the one that would be finesse. I like that because this is sort of more physical acting, right? If you use finesse,
so I like it.
If you use finesse, I'll say that this is risky, but it will have a great effect.
Not so much.
What did you get?
A 2 and a 3.
Oh no. Okay. So you fail. You fall to the ground and he's like, do you think I'm a fool? I know you're awake. He knocks on the door. We have a problem.
I break one of the skylights.
I want to.
Okay. So here we go. Suddenly the skylight breaks. And which skylight breaks? Is it the one over like the main audience?
The one in the busy sort of atrium that they're in. I break it.
Okay, so suddenly glass starts falling down on everybody, and you hear people out in that atrium screaming, and he's like, he's got Kija by the collar, he's got his sword out, and he's like, what's happening? Is this an attack? Who are you?
Can I pull out my 2 pistols and shoot him twice?
Oh God! Can you? Well, let's just take everything one piece at a time because things are getting crazy. The glass is shattering from the atrium. Elisa, were you able to plant an explosive or a little firework?
Was I in that time? Was I able to?
He definitely was distracted. Did you try to do that? I didn't want to leave you out if you had done that.
Yes, but I feel like at a certain point when she's on the ground with a weapon to her throat, that I may have
hold my own.
Do I? Okay. All right.
Well, you do not have to go and plant your firework. You could help your friend instead if you'd prefer. It's up to you.
Yeah. Well, if the atrium is already broke at this point, I'll go plant firework. Although I feel like a distraction is pointless. I'll be like, oh well, I guess we're not doing that, and I'll turn around and try and I've got a blowgun and darts. Can I have a sleep dart?
Yeah, so I think that in order for you to have a sleep chemical, and I'm going to ask my secret GM, Clinton Trucks, to tell me what exact alchemical that would be, but there certainly is one. And if you took some alchemicals with you, if you can cross that off and the blow darts on you took a heavy load, so you can take both of these things. And are you hitting the guard with the sleep thing?
Yes. Okay. The sash man. Ideally, before he's too loud. If I hear him start up, that's the turnaround sleep.
Great. So you have to use an action to do that, and I want Mollie to know. I let her just automatically break the atrium window, and I feel like I'm not really interested in you rolling an action to break something. Actually, that would be a great action to roll, but I went ahead and said it happened. So you know what? It already happened. So just to set the scene perfectly, Kija is being held up by this guy with a big sword, and he's like, "Tell me who you are." People are already panicking because the atrium window has been shattered. They're like running and trying to figure out if they're being attacked, if this is some kind of terrorist action. And that is when Elisa raises her blow dart with her alchemical in it. And let's see. I think that, I think that you have some kind of alchemical in it. Perhaps trance powder induces a pleasant hypnotic trance when inhaled.
Yes, lovely.
Okay, great. Make sure you mark off those on your loadout.
Yep.
And what action are you using to hit the red sash bodyguard with this blow dart?
Does this count as me wrecking this man?
I think it does. I mean, the whole job is kind of wrecked at this point, so I'll allow a wreck. And here's what I'm going to say. Normally, Red Sash are tier 2 bad guys. They're tier 2 faction, which means that they're more potent than you guys. You guys are tier 0 to start out. They're more potent than you at like fighting, and they also have better quality stuff like armor and stuff. But I think that because Kija has him very distracted, and because you decided to use a blow dart, you're not like coming up and stabbing him or hitting him with something against his like superior armor. I think that you have mitigated those two factors, that tier 2 tier, those 2 tiers of quality that he has. And so you can try this. Go ahead and roll a wreck, and let's see what happens. I'm going to say that it is risky for a standard effect. He will be put into a trance.
Okay, so I roll the 2, yeah?
Yeah.
If I have 2 dots, okay.
Yeah, that's right. Do you want a devil's bargain?
Tell me more.
Well, you could either push yourself and you'll take some stress and you'll get an extra die, or I can give you a devil's bargain here, meaning I'll give you an extra die if let's see, what would be a good devil's bargain in this case? Oh, if there's a chance that the powder could splash up and hit Kija as well. Because you're wrecking. You're not finessing, you're wrecking. So basically your shot blows up and then it's like the trance powder goes everywhere.
I will take it. There's always a risk. It's always a little bit messy.
Great.
Trance doesn't sound so bad.
Roll 3 dice.
And could you let me, how do special abilities come into play? How does that work?
Your special ability is Saboteur, meaning you can wreck something without anybody kind of noticing.
Yeah, I was just curious if after the fact.
Do you want to be really subtle with this? Do you want to make it so that you're doing this and no one will see you? Like, it's not like you're like in the middle of the hallway going, wow. It's like you're able to like be like, flip, and like nobody even notices that you've done it. Do you want to use your special ability? Great.
Is it like a one-time thing? How does that?
No, they can be used as many times as you wreck something, really.
Yes, I'm trying to be subtle. Yeah, I mean, I like to see it. Okay, the effect should not be subtle, but I am subtle.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. A 4 is the highest.
Okay, so that means a success with consequences. And so what I'm going to rule in this particular case is that, yes, in fact, you do it so subtly. No, people are running through the hallway, they're running past you, and nobody sees Elisa go, and like this dart goes, but it's like a dart that she's packed so full of trance powder that when it hits his neck, it just creates a cloud of trance powder. And I'm going to say that Kija, you and this guy are about to take a harm, hypnotic trance. But if you want, anytime I give you harm or I levy some kind of consequence against you, you can do a resistance roll. Would you like to take it's a level 1 harm, hypnotic trance. Would you like to take that? Because that means since you already have the stabbed quality in your harm, you will have a limited effect on all of your rolls from here on out. Or you can resist it. Do you want to resist it?
I want to resist it.
As well, you should. Boy, you could tell. I led you right to that resistance roll, didn't I?
Well,
remember
you made it sound not fun at all.
Yeah, okay. So you're going to resist this using resolve, and I can tell that you have 2 dots in your resolve because you go by that little vertical column under the resolve category of actions,
I
okay?
didn't know that's how that worked. That's
Yes,
cool.
and you are going to take 6 stress to resist this, but you're going to subtract the die from your highest roll here. Okay, so 6 stress to resist taking the hypnotic trance, but you'll subtract whatever your highest die is here.
3.
3. Okay, so you took 3 stress. You took 3 stress plus the stress from your. I think you earlier
I
had a
2.
flashback from 2, so you have 5 stress. So you're not doing so well. And what I'm going to say is, so you do not take the hypnotic trance, but he does. He suddenly is hit with that thing, and this big cloud of trance dust goes up, and he suddenly starts to let you go, and
Can
he's
I just
kind of like,
relieve him of the sword
"What?"
gently?
Yeah, you sort of slowly pull the sword out of his grasp, and he's not doing anything. He's like, "Hi." Yeah, but I said that there was a consequence, right? I said
Look at
that
that
there
little
was
man.
a consequence, and there was a consequence. The consequence was a lost opportunity. And by that, I mean, you notice as you guys are recovering from all this, as you're slowly pulling the sword, and as like Elisa is checking to see, you notice that Drazar and the old woman are running down the corridor back toward the exit to the Ministry of Preservation.
I want to stop them before they get to the exit.
Great. You know what, Elisa, you are probably in a position to do that because we said you were kind of out where the hall kind of lets into the big atrium area where everybody is panicking and going nuts. Elisa, Drazar is running toward you, and so is this Ministry of Preservation woman with him. They see that there's being some sort of attempt made to attack here. He's going to get past you unless you do something.
Okay.
Do?
Yeah. So I'm posed as a guard, so going to start shouting like, "Not this way! Not this way! Turn around! There's only danger. We need to evacuate you immediately. Come with me."
Okay. Interesting. What action are you using
Oh, boy.
and you can't pull out an ID this time.
No, no. I am going to.
He's right on top of you.
Does study come into? Oh my goodness! The lights turned off. It's spooky
Oh my
now.
god! Oh,
That's
it's spooky. Okay.
Turn off all the
Okay.
lights in the building.
Right? Yeah. Could I have studied the language that the guards use in order to be like when they are communicating threats to officials?
Yes. Why don't you roll a study for me? And that means that you have just that counts for all of the times like you've been listening to people in here, like they're you're saying the or what kind the language that the guards use. You're trying to your study made you more able to use their lingo. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, to sound convincing, you know.
Great.
to
I'm gonna
sell it.
say. I'm going to say limited effect. You might make him pause, but you're not going to make him like stop or go the other way. You're going to make him
What if
pause with this.
What if
Oh,
you
okay.
pull out the other guards to stop them because they've done something? Are they too high ranking for that?
I don't think I'm very good at lying anyway, so I will attempt this to cause a pause to happen, in which I will probably try to slip some alchemical onto him.
Okay. So let's first have the roll with your study to try to get it. You'll get a limited effect. You'll get him to pause for a moment. And you're gonna get, and
Well,
I'm going to say
there's
that
no light. It's a 6.
I'm going to say. Oh, it was a 6. Okay, it's also risky, but fair enough. Okay, so you start like talking in like very corridor B is shut down. We've got a 5th level emergency happening. So you're kind of like talking in the exact lingo that the guards talk, and Drazar stops and is kind of eyeing you warily. And I want to ask Mollie what she's doing.
I'm slipping in through the skylight I broke because I brought climbing tools.
Very good. Well, with your climbing tools, I'm going to give you a controlled, great effect roll to get down into here, into this swarming crowd of people.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to use?
Prowl.
Okay, very good. Give me a prowl roll. Controlled, great effect, meaning you'll land exactly where you want to land. You have the climbing tools, and you feel pretty safe. You know how to do this.
I got another one.
Oh my god. Okay.
It's a good thing failure is interesting in Blades in the Dark, and it's a good thing I don't lie about my roles.
I do appreciate that. We are on the honor system here at the Stream of Blood, and we all salute you and give you a small clap. Thank you, Secret GM Clinton Trucks. So you are like, I better help these girls now. And
but my red sash goon catches me because he's still possessed.
That happens. Would you please take 2 stress for that awesome flashback where you told the ghost like to watch out for me, keep an eye out for me. And so you are sliding down and you start falling, you lose control
and as
of the rope.
I say, I'm not physically good at this.
Yes, I'm not good at prowling. And then all of a sudden, boom, you land in this like the arms of this like sword wearing Fabio guy. But he his
face.
Yes, and he's like he doesn't respond at all because it's really the ghost. Actually, he does respond. The ghost inside him responds and goes, I like it's trying to say something with his vocal cords. I don't like falling.
Yes, my dear.
And so now you are there, and I'm going to give this guy and this Ministry of Preservation woman, and the 3 of you are kind of surrounding them. And out behind you is this like big crowd of people all panicking and running out of the building. But the 3 of you are here now. Of course, Mollie is in the arms of a possessed guard, but you are here. So I want to know what you're going to do. You have this guy for one moment. He's pausing and looking at you, trying to see if he should trust you, Elisa. You say you're going to slip. What are you going to do?
I would love to slip some sort of I don't know what exists, but some sort of like a device that sticks to his neck and injects him with a corrosive agent.
Oh God, a corrosive agent.
I have multiple equipment that could apply for this, either alchemicals or an unusual weapon.
Okay. Let me see here.
Or a gadget. I am not sure.
I like unusual weapon. That sounds definitely like a weapon. So when he pauses for a second, you're going to move up and inject him with something really quickly, right?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So, look, just tell me, is it a drug, a poison? Probably a poison, right?
I was saying like an acid.
Oh God. Okay. An acid. Wow, that's so awful.
Well,
I love it. No, I mean that in a good way. I really love that. You could inject him with fire oil.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Elisa, she doesn't go with the subtle poisons. She doesn't go with the weird drugs. She knows alchemicals that are explosive. And so are you going to inject him with fire oil?
Yes, and I would like to do it in a way, since I am a saboteur, that's like a pat on the back, like disguise is like, come on, let's go. Yoink, like.
Oh, I love it. Okay, tell me what action you're using to do that.
I keep going to wreck, but maybe it's tinkering because I'm like, using a
I'll allow a tinker.
Okay.
Here's what I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say he's very suspicious. He's very suspicious. He thinks there's being a threat on his life. I think that right now, unless you can improve your position some way, you have a limited effect. I think that you are doing a risky move for a limited effect unless you can improve your position. So you can improve your position by, or you can improve your effect rather, by taking a more desperate position. Do you want to go from risky to desperate? And that means, you'll have a standard effect on him if you hit, if you succeed. Desperate means if it goes wrong, there will be some sort of consequence for you. And in this case, using the very volatile fire oil, it will be fiery harm.
Okay. And how do I get more dice?
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and make this a desperate roll, a risky,
Yes.
a desperate roll for a standard effect. Now
Yeah.
how many die do you have in Tinker? 2.
2.
Well, you've got 2 friends around you. Maybe they could do something.
Yes. Yeah. They see me like about
This
to.
way. The way out is this way. Quick, you can escape to safety into your car.
And what about you, Molly? As you're held in the arms of this swordsman.
This man is beautiful. I've forgotten what we're doing here.
Very good. So Molly just sort of lounges back and enjoys herself.
I feel like a damsel.
Very good. The ghost puts you down. You're enjoying it too much. But we will allow Kija to aid you. That is teamwork. You're gonna take you're gonna take 1 stress, Kija, as you are kind of leading him like directly into
I say
the
his
arms
name,
of
and I
Elisa.
say, quickly, you can escape these threats, Amador. This is the way to safety.
Great. Yes, someone sent me. Follow her.
Yeah.
So you may take a stress, Kija. Ooh, poor Kija is getting so stressed. Kija now has, oh my God, she only has 3 stress left. But that's going to give a die to Elisa for her Tinker roll.
And could you remind me as well what push is this? Can you also push and do this, or
You
is it like
sure
one or the other?
can. Let's get crazy.
What does that involve?
Yes.
Stress.
That would be taking 2 stress, and you'll add a die to yourself. Do you want to take 2 stress? Okay, great. Okay, so now you got 4 big dice for this, because this really is the kill shot, isn't it?
Yes, I'm getting very excited, so she's in it to win it.
Okay, here we go. He hears Kija say, "Go ahead," and he's like, "Oh, okay," and he's moving forward, and
5.
a 5, a success with a consequence. Boy, oh boy, what should be the consequence?
I'm supposed to give you my highest, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
So let me see. What are the different consequences? Complication minor, complication serious. Well, it was desperate. Limited effect. A limited effect. It didn't work. You hit him in the back and you didn't get his neck. You got his shirt. The alchemical suddenly hit the air and it caught fire, and he's like, "Oh God!" And he's rolling around like his entire jacket has caught fire, and he's bashing himself against the wall trying to get it off, but he's not dead yet. And so it is up to one of the others to do something.
I take out a boot knife and just throw it at him.
There we go, Molly. Molly with the backup roll. Molly, go ahead and tell me what action you're using to do that.
Finesse.
Great. I'm going to say that this is going to be risky. For a standard effect, he will be stabbed with a boot knife.
All right, let's see. 6.
A 6 is a success. And so you tried your little alchemical thing, and he gets his fiery jacket off and looks at all of you. And that's when a knife hits him in the chest. So here is it looks like he is stabbed. It looks like he's stabbed in the chest. It looks like he may die. But now I want to tell you go ahead, Kija.
Is there any sort of briefcase or something that may contain a journal on his person, or perhaps something that he walked in with and the silver-haired lady walked out with?
Yes, the silver-haired lady is currently running away from you with a small case.
Yes.
I want to run after her and try and tackle her.
Okay, you're running after her, Kija, and you're also dressed like an old lady who's from the Ministry of Preservation, and you're running after her, and you're going to tackle her. What action are you going to use to do that?
I think that's going to be the old finesse. She doesn't have to die today, unless she doesn't stop.
Okay, finesse. So I'm going to say that this is going to be, she's Ministry of Preservation. They are smart motherfuckers. They're very tough. I think that you have a chance at this, but unless you do something, it's going to be limited effect, because they're just very smart. They have a lot of security. I think that even as she's running, she's going straight for guards that she knows that she can trust. So you're gonna have limited effect unless you agree to make this a desperate action, and by that I
it's
mean
desperate.
the guards will see you tackle her, and they'll like all open fire on you if you fail this.
Oh, that sounds bad. Actually,
Yeah.
instead of tackling, let me pull out documents that are a warrant for her arrest.
Really interesting. Okay, so now this is a completely different kind of action. And the defenses that I said that she had, all of these guards, they could possibly be fooled. So, tell me what action you're using now.
Well, I realize I could have argued for this more, but my cloak and dagger special ability grants me an extra die to rolls that confuse or deflect suspicion.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you get an extra die here.
Okay.
And what are you going to use? Are you still going to use finesse with this?
Yeah, unless you think it's more of a sway situation.
I think that it's up to you, but I'd say what do you have more dice in?
They're the same too.
I think
It doesn't
it's
matter.
now. I'm going to tell you something. If it's finesse, it's going to be tougher.
Okay, it's sway for sure.
Okay, it's sway.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say
Relying on how good my disguise was, the fact that everybody was bored to tears when I spoke earlier, even the guards.
So these guards are raising their weapons, and that is when suddenly you pull out this warrant and you slap your hand down on the back of this ministry official's shoulder. And I'm going to say that this is going to be. I'm going to say that this is still desperate. If you don't fool them, it's going to be big trouble. But you have more of a chance now because your disguise matters now. You know, you've got 3 dice now. And it's going to be desperate, and it's going to be for a standard effect. You're going to be able to get this case from her at the very least.
Okay, so I rolled in the middle. I probably would have been luckier if I rolled at the end of what you were saying. And
That's okay.
Jasmine, you're saying
I was talking a long time.
Because it'd be great. It'd be really cool. It's a 4.
No, we don't lie. We don't lie.
It's a 4.
A 4 is not bad. A 4 means you succeed with a consequence. And so the consequence I'm going to say that happens right now is that, let's see, an immediate problem or ticks when heat. I know what I'm going to do. I'm making a clock, which I should have made a long time ago. And the clock is called Ministry Guards know that you guys are the problem, right? Like the Ministry Guards suddenly realize the Ministry Guards capture you is what I'm going to call it. Is that a good clock? I don't know. That's the one I'm making.
That's a great clock.
And it gets ticked 1 time. And if it gets
There's 4
ticked,
parts to the clock, right?
there's 4 parts to the clock. If it gets clicked 2 more times or 3 more times, then you guys are going to be surrounded and you're going to be arrested. So you say, I'm arresting this person.
On order of the Ministry of Procrastination, what is this? Yes, preservation. I would say that you, madam, and it takes a long time to get it all out, but
and the guards are kind of like, oh, this is taking a long time. This is, one of them kind of lowers his like weapon and is like waiting for you to get done with your very official proclamation. And of course, you were one of the official speakers. So they're kind of like, well, this is a lady that's high up in the ministry. And so I told you that you would have the standard effect, and they're a little bit suspicious, but you pull the case away from her. And now, what are you doing? What is anybody doing? Mollie, what are you doing?
I realize the situation is going very far south of where I wanted it to. So I am arm in arm with the red sash man, trying to pretend to be an attendant of this and walking my way out towards the cars and the holes.
Very good. So the red sash man, who is actually the ghost in the red sash's body, goes, I can see his memories, and takes you to a very specific carriage and opens it. And on the inside of the door, it's emblazoned with the seal of the Aruvian consulate.
I just tap him on the cheek and say, "Oh, I love you. Okay, go away now." And I get in the carriage and close the door.
The ghost exits his body as he sits there and kind of slumps down between a bunch of cars, and the handsome cab driver behind you kind of looks like, what the fuck? But
which is good because that probably allows me to sneak in a lot easier.
Yes, and once you sneak in, Molly, I can tell you that there is something lying on the very nice plush padded seat beside you.
Is it the ledger that I need?
It's the actual ledger.
Dang it. I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna put it inside my bosom.
So Molly stuffs the ledger into her bosoms, and then it is time for Kija and Elisa to tell me how they get out of the Ministry of Fucking Preservation without ticking this clock 3 more times. Because I can tell you that a lot of guards are like checking everybody and shouting orders, and they seem to have the place secured. And you hear a guy going, "No one goes in or out," and like they're rounding up all of the ministry officials to kind of take a roll call.
Good
And
thing I brought that burglary gear with the grappling gun so we can exit by rope through the broken skylight.
We're not going to be subtle at all. And as she's doing that, I am going to have cut the lights. Somehow.
Oh, now that is great. Guys, I need rolls from each of you to make this happen. And by God, these are strange rolls. So here's what I'm going to say. These rolls are both desperate. I mean, you guys agree they're desperate, right? And the consequence is going to be I'm clicking the rest of this clock up. I'm clicking the rest of it up if either of you fails your roll. Well, let me put it this way. If Elisa fails her roll to turn the lights off, I'm not going to click the clock up. I'm going to make the heat go up on this job. Heat is bad, and you'll find out about it in downtime. But it basically means the authorities know who you are, and they want to stop you. If our friend Kija fails her roll, I'm clicking the clock up, and it's arrest time. Here we go.
Practice roll. I need some practice rolls with different dice. I don't trust those dice
What
anymore.
action are you using to grapple? You grab Elisa, and you're Batmaning out of the place. What action are you using?
Naturally, that would be finesse.
Finesse, I'm going to say it is a desperate action, but it will have the standard effect of getting you out onto the roof. Elisa, what action are you using to cut all the lights all at once?
Wreck, yes. I would like
Very good.
Destroy the light system.
Oh, and may I have a devil's bargain?
You can. I'll decide what your devil's bargain is. I was actually going to give you 1 extra die for do you have an actual grappling thing in your list of equipment?
It is burglary gear.
Oh, okay. No extra die. You have to just roll your finesse. But if you want an extra die for your devil's bargain is going to be 1 person. You can have an extra die, but 1 person here, who I will tell you who it is, saw you and knows who you actually are, Kija. The thing that you hate, the thing you don't like anybody to know your actual identity, but 1 person here is going to know who Kija is.
You cannot know Kija.
Kija is a maze of mirrors. Do you like the devil's bargain?
I do.
Then you may have the extra die. And wait, don't roll yet. Elisa, did you have another question?
Yes.
Well, I need to know how you're doing this. Rec is great, but describe in the fiction what you're doing.
Right. Does equipment help with my rolls as well, or no?
It can sometimes. Sometimes I throw in a die for it.
I have fine tinkering tools.
Oh,
that I
yeah.
would assume would allow me to get into the inner workings of wherever the power source is coming from and just snip whatever needs to be taken apart.
I like it. Here we go. You can go ahead and, you know what? Fine tinkering tools. It's not specifically stuff that puts out lights. There's a lot involved in this, actually. You'd have to find the box. No, you know what? That was a very good argument, Joe, but I think it's going to be I don't think I'm going to give you an extra die for that. I'm going to say that this is risky, and it's desperate, actually, but it will have the standard effect of getting the lights off if you succeed.
Wait, question.
Okay, no extra die, you said, right?
No extra die for fine tinkering tools.
If she succeeds, can I get an extra die now that we're sneaky in the dark?
Yes. So let's have Joe roll first. Let's have Elisa try to shut these lights off with her tinkering tools.
2 6s. 2 6s.
That's a critical. And so
Oh my God.
you guys are like, you see that they're cutting everybody off. They're shutting the doors. They're barring the doors. Elisa pops open a panel on the alchemical globe apparatus on the walls, cuts some things with her fine tinkering tools. Everything goes black. People start screaming again. Weapons are going off. And that's when you hit the burglary tools there, my friend.
Ooh!
Uh,
5, 1, 1.
A 6, a 5, a 1, and a 1 is a full success. And so in the darkness, Elisa grabs onto you, and you've described your burglary tools as a Batman grappling hook, and I'll allow it because I let you make it.
Kija is Batman.
You made a desperate roll to make it happen. And up out of the skylight that thankfully Mollie broke as all part of the plan. This was always how you were going to escape. And so
always.
we're 10 minutes over our usual runtime, so I would like to just add a final scene as you get into the official Eruvian consulate carriage with your friend Mollie.
I left without them. They would have to make their own way home.
Okay.
We're just like standing cold on the corner of the rooftop of a building.
You can
over,
walk.
like,
There are buses.
You guys come to the spot where you thought you would be meeting Mollie, and you just see a red sash guy like getting up off of the ground, like pulling like ectoplasm out of his mouth. He's got like Slimer slime, like he's like, ugh! And you see the carriage moving off into the haze and fog of duskfall. But the rest, you can hear screams from inside the Ministry of Preservation. They've locked the doors. They're all shut in there, and there's just blackness inside. And you can walk off into the city.
I had to secure the cash.
No, good job. Yeah.
I think we've learned Mollie is dangerous, and none of us can trust her.
she did it again, didn't she?
And
Job
that's
comes first.
that's the world of a scoundrel. Guys, you did it. You succeeded.
Yay!
Chat, give them a round of
Wow.
applause. This crew succeeded
can't
by the
believe it.
skin of their teeth.
I was ready to get arrested.
Well,
I
he's
was
not
ready.
dead, but we got the ledger.
They said we got to
Wait,
kill
he's
this
not
guy.
dead?
Oh, well, he got stabbed in the chest.
Oh, I forgot about that
probably
whole really good stabbing. So Jasmine
Yeah.
and Mollie did everything.
Yeah.
Well, let's. There does need to be this epilogue. You pop open the case, and inside the case is all types of information about the Circle of Flame, the membership in the Circle of Flame, and all kinds. It's like kind of a dossier on them that apparently this guy, as a secretary to one of the high-ranking members of the Circle of Flame, he was spying on that secret side of her life. And so now you have all this information about this Tier 3 faction that is currently hostile to you. If you recall, Becca, that's the guy you assassinated last time was a member of that strained group of like elite nobles who try to like procure magical artifacts. And now you have this whole dossier on them. And in fact, one part of this dossier says that the empty spot left by Elstera Avrathi may be filled by either Mother Naria of the Arms of the Weeping Lady, or by one of the Dimmer sisters, is what is currently being rumored within the seven of the Circle of Flame. What does this matter? Probably for later adventures. It's all kind of hooks, you guys. Come on. And you'll all remember it. The next time we start playing, Jasmine's going to be like, I remember that Mother Naria is trying to get into the Circle of Flame. And I'll be like, you're goddamn right she is. Let's go kill her.
Yeah.
You guys were amazing. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight.
Thank you for this wonderful adventure.
Thank you for allowing such a beginner here at the group.
I think you got it.
I
I think you did it. You kind of knew what you were doing, actually. Yeah, I don't know, guys. What do you think? Is Joe McAdam pretty good at this stuff?
I'd say so.
Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Becca Scott. Guys, find them on their socials. Watch everything they do. Watch the Calyx. Watch Good Time Society. Please support these lovely players and let them know on their socials how much you love them. I'm going to say goodbye for right now. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay, that was our show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a really fun time running it. I'm going to do a little end to show business. And if anybody would like to throw in some comments or questions, I probably have time for one or two. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific, we sometimes do as we do. We're handing Vampires of Pittsburgh over to the Inquisition. Yes, that's right. The bad guys get to play. Watch veteran monster hunters Humphrey Carr, Nora Ibrahim, and our new Inquisitor, B. Dave Walters, come in and hunt some vamps in our Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle. We're going to see the Inquisition side. Once again, the Stream of Blood channel is dark this week. I am working on another vampire game with the glass cannon that will appear soon using the Philadelphia setting that our subscribers created. Oh, this is a good opportunity for me to say, subscribe to the Stream of Blood on Twitch. That is how we make money. That is how we continue to provide you with this excellent content. And the way that we reach out to you and give something back is by letting you be part of the story. So the faction turn in our Blood and Blades games allows you to create goals and agendas for the different factions in the city of Duskfall. But in addition, in Vampires of Pittsburgh, recently our subscribers created the entire vampire hierarchy of the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. And you will see that city in action in my games with the glass cannon that will be airing soon. Next week, we will be back on Saturday with another Blood and Blades faction turn. And I think this time it will be Secret Game Master Clinton Trucks running us through the faction turn because I will have to be somewhere else. But you know what? He really shouldn't even be a secret GM because he's just an excellent GM. So you guys will be in good hands. Stream of Blood is also a podcast, and the feed now contains all 30 episodes of our original Vampires of Pittsburgh series. Lockdown will follow, along with episodes of our other series. Find it on the podcatcher of your choice. Subscribe, download, rate, and review it because it really helps people find us, and it helps support the channel. Blades in the Dark is by the game designer John Harper and the fantastic Evil Hat Productions. I think John was in the chat tonight. John, if you're still there, or anybody knows John, thank you for stopping by and for all the nice comments you left. Original artwork for Blood and Blades is by Will Pottorff, Pottorff. WillPottorff.com is where you can find him. Original music is by Axel Kazis Taylor. Help to spread the word about the Stream of Blood. We are on Twitter. We're on Reddit. We are on Discord. That's the best place to get in touch with us. Our Discord, the server of blood. Come there, be part of the faction turn, be part of the city creation for Vampire. Come and just talk nerdy shit with us. We just added a channel that's just talking about heavy metal that I'm very excited about. Oh, and also we're on Facebook because we want the Russians to win. Okay, are there any comments or questions? I'm looking here. I don't see any. Yeah, it's all right. That's great. No problem. If there aren't any, I'm just going to say thank you to Clinton Trucks and Brian Bollinger. Thank you so much, man. That's really, it's the best game. It's the best game that's come out in 25 years. It's just a very, very easy to play, easy to read game. Where does this rank on most chaotic sessions? Look, Nightcat, not a bot. You know that all of our sessions are chaotic here at the Stream of Blood. I run a chaotic game. Why? Because I think games should move fast and that the players should do whatever they want to do without a lot of hand-holding or leading them by the nose. So that leads to chaos, and that's the way we like it. Is it the most chaotic game? No, that's got to be one of the crazy episodes of Vampires of Pittsburgh. I thought this was pretty controlled. I want to thank our social media manager. Oh, Suzo says, Jared, are you doing any podcasts these days? I'm not doing my own podcast. And we did stop with our Campaign Promises show on the Stereo app that we were doing. So the answer is no. I did do some a little while back. I did Hello from the Magic Tavern. There's an episode where I play a character on Hello from the Magic Tavern. Check that out because Arnie Niekamp is our good friend and his podcast is hilarious. And it's the kind of thing that people that like this show would like. Thank you to Megan Arch, our social media manager. Thank you to our YouTube content producer, Matt Moynihan. The Stream of Blood logo was created by Garrett Ross and our opening animation is by Andrew Orvidal. I'll see you in Duskfall, everybody. Bye-bye.